Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I'm Sonal Nagpal, Product Marketer, Grazitti Interactive. At Sinergify, our focus has always been to enable support and engineering teams to work together without friction. Over time, as more teams adopted Sinergify and use cases grew, we started seeing an increase in expectations around scale, reliability, and control. In response to that, we have introduced some key enhancements in Synergify. It is about making everyday workflows more reliable, easier to manage, and more predictable for users. In this session, we'll walk through what has changed, why it matters, and how you can use these improvements in your own environments. Joining me today is Amarveer Singh, Sinergify product expert, who will give a live product walkthrough. We will also be able to answer your questions, so feel free to add it in the webinar chat. Let me quickly walk you through today's agenda. We'll start why these enhancements matter. Next, we'll cover the key enhancements focused on reliability, visibility, and reducing manual effort. Then we'll move to live product walkthrough, showing these enhancements end to end in real scenarios. Finally, we'll take a look at what's coming next in our product roadmap. Now, let's talk about why these enhancements were needed. Based on support insights and usage pattern, we focused on strengthening what matters most for teams. For admins, this means clearer mappings, faster setup, and far less manual effort managing configurations. For end users, it means smoother syncs, fewer disruptions, and clearer, more intuitive error messages. And for larger enterprise teams, it's about reliable automation, consistent performance across projects, and the confidence to scale. To make this easier to walk through, we have grouped the enhancements into themes: admin user experience and control improvements, project and field mapping enhancements, additional improvements. Each theme addresses a key challenge we discussed earlier. Let's start with how we have empowered admins. For better control, we have simplified OAuth 2.0 management with a new refresh token button and added tracking for project access changes on Jira site. We have refreshed the project mapping and configuration interfaces with a cleaner user interface to make it easier to manage multiple projects and sync controls much faster. To reduce manual overhead, we have automated legacy data batch scheduling, so you no longer need to use the developer console. We have also optimized performance for enterprise organizations by fetching Salesforce objects independently, preventing CPU timeouts. Moving to field mappings, we have focused on accuracy and reuse. Admins can now copy entire field mapping templates between projects, which is a huge time saver for growing teams. To make this user phase more flexible, you can now sort pick list value alphabetically and even auto-populate multi-select fields directly from Salesforce object data. Plus, you can now manage status and issue type mappings right from the front-end mapping screen. We have also addressed common data discrepancies by allowing value transformations via API names rather than just labels. Finally, let's look at reliability and general improvements. We have also ensured that global teams can sync data seamlessly by adding support for non-Unicode and UTF-16 and UTF-32 characters. A major update here is that package triggers are now automatically added to your custom settings during installation or updates. cutting down on manual post-deployment steps. We have also handled a corner scenario where the infinite loader was appearing in global search, as well as corrected the behavior of the troubleshooting scheduler, which was creating duplicate records. We also redefined how link to Jira and send to Jira behave on the feed to ensure they work reliably even in complex scenarios. I'll now hand it over to Amarveer, who will walk you through an end-to-end demonstration of these enhancements.
Thank you, Sonal. Thanks, guys, for joining. So I will be presenting my screen to showcase this in one of the Salesforce environments for better visibility. So let me pull up my screen. Just give me a minute. So I hope my screen is visible. Okay, great. So just to give a quick glimpse how you can know about the releases is by going to our website docs.sinergify.com, and then you go to the view or release sections, and that's where you can find the latest package links and what all has been made live recently, right? So I'll be covering from top to bottom to make it easier for you. And the first one is targeted for admins. And the first thing is we added the refresh token on OAuth 2.0 for the customers who were using it from past. Uh, OAuth 1.0, we did give that functionality, but in OAuth 2.0, we added that recently. So now when you update the package, it should be visible. What it does is basically it helps you to change the integration user in case you want to do that. Or if in case you want to reauthorize, you can simply click on it and it will redirect you to the Jira login screen. So it saves some time. And next part is we revamped the UI for the configuration screen. And just to give you an idea how it looks like, once you install and update the package, you will be able to see that in your logs. And we have categorized it feature wise. On the top, it's the most generic features, and followed by comments and attachments. So it gives a more cleaner and distributed by features. We are planning to do a whole UI revamp in our future releases, which I will showcase that in our roadmap. And other thing we have added over here is on the project mapping screen. When you go to the projects, what happens is previously there were issues wherein users were trying to link Jira's from a deleted project, or there were already some relationships that existed, but the project, in case if the project has been deleted or archived on the Jira side, or if the access has been revoked to the integration user for that project, those project details now will be separately listed. How it helps is admins can know that okay, there are some projects where are there are issues related to permissions or might have been archived. They can collaborate with the Jira admins, or if they have access to Jira, they can directly verify, and this will help a lot to reduce any back and forth conflicts between your Salesforce and Jira admins. So that's a pretty good feature. And other thing we added is on the field mapping screen. There are few system fields that Jira offers. One of them is issue type, and other one is status. So we added both of these fields now on the front end. So now you will be able to map it directly from the front end instead of going to the back end in most of the scenarios. Issue type, if you map it, just to give a use case, if you remember rule set, that is a feature where we allow your admins to set up a criteria, right? Where you can auto populate the project name. Let's say example of an enterprise company where there are like 50 or 100 odd projects. You do not want your users to remember the projects, right? So we reduce the manual thinking. We automated that part with the rule set in the previous versions. And in this version, when you map the issue type with any of the data on the case, let's say the issue is a bug, or if it's a feature request, right? So that can go to the dedicated issue type screens, let's say bug, feature request, ideas, or it's a DevOps ticket or anything like that. So again, one less step for your teams when they go to the Jira creation screen, they can go ahead and you know see that option automatically selected. And again, on this pick list mapping screen, you can decide which issue type ties to which case or opportunity or whatever objects you have mapped for the integration, right? And for the status, the same thing is visible. That can help you automate the status changes. For complex scenarios, uh, you will have to use the flow, but we are working on that part. But for the easier one-to-one scenarios, this will mostly work out of the box. So moving on to the next part is the copy template. This is again a pretty cool feature for bigger organizations, wherein if you want to use a default template, right? Uh, what happens on the Jira side is you have hundreds of projects. Basically, they share the main schema or a default schema behind the screens, right? Like fields, issue types, and all of that stuff. And if you would come to Salesforce, you would want to map a project and then map another project. So we do have the feature that is global mapping, but again, we are revamping that in our future releases to give you a even more smoother experience. But for now, we added this option over here. What it does is it help you decide a base template that you want to choose as the mapping from where you want to pull the mapping for issue types or fields, etc. And then you simply select what are all the projects you want to map based on this schema, right? As soon as you click save, all the projects will be visible over here on the map on the mapping screen, and then your job is done. So that helps a lot of time in enterprise organizations where you don't have to for too much time to map these things, test it out, and push to production. So again, definitely a big time saver for Salesforce admins, I must say. We added the documentation for the troubleshooting on our help guide. Now, if in case you are either setting it up for the first time or you're trying to understand what all has changed, or if your system admin is a new one who's working on Sinergify, our help guide directly routes you to the links for all the features. We also added the latest documentation for troubleshooting as well. And after that, there is one more functionality we have had in the past, that is syncing of data for the legacy field in reports. So when you go to reports, you by default enable the fields that you need in reporting in Salesforce reports. Sometimes what happens is you might not want to do that at a certain time, but as per the request, you now come to the screen and want to fetch the data in the Salesforce reports. It will create a field in the backend. But what happens is that gap of 2 or 3 months, when the data is already there, might be lost. So we have that option where you can enable the checkbox and the legacy data will be synced. What we have changed in this version is the batch was something you had to manually schedule in the developer console. Now we have automated that. As soon as you click on sync and click on yes, that will be scheduled. So again, fewer steps for the admins to help in the reporting perspective for legacy data. So these were the admin enhancements. Coming down to the feature enhancements, we have many features. If I talk about the single select and multi-select fields, we have added the functionality to sort all of those fields on all the screens that we have available. So if I talk about, let's say this case, for example, and if I click on create, now I will be able to sort the fields. The most important fields these days is the fixed version. I would want to sort it with the latest fixed version, that you have on the Jira side to appear on the top, right? So that is going to help you a lot if in case you have too many values. And in future releases, once we revamp all of this, we will add the option to probably search, but the standard Salesforce does not offer that. But again, our team is working hard on that. But again, this straightforward sorting will help a lot of users to reduce time if they plan to create a Jira manually, right? And apart from that, We also handled pre-population of multi-select fields. So we do offer pre-population for all of the fields, but the data type multi-pick list is you can see pre-populated automatically from your parent object in case this is your Salesforce support team and this is the case. So I had selected 5 values over here. So now all of them are pre-populated. Again, no manual efforts needed to manipulate the data on the screen. You can simply hit save and your Jira will be created. So that is one thing, one data type that we handled. And Salesforce, moving on to the next feature set, Salesforce, just to give you a background, only handles UTF 8 characters. But Jira, on the other hand, might have more flexibility because of its flexibility in terms of rich text and data types. So whenever users added non-Unicode characters, for example, this here, uh, or if they add UTF 16 or 32 characters, in some scenarios, the linking with the Salesforce might break, right? So we also handle this. How it looks like is, let's say you have this Unicode, non-Unicode character here. And previously, if you try to link this Jira issue, this might not work. But now you will be able to link that Jira issue directly without any restrictions. So that syncing will not break. So that is something we handled recently. And apart from that, so pick list values, we were fetching with help of labels, but again, we saw challenges in that. So we improvised and we are now handling it on the basis of API names for more accuracy and lesser discrepancy. So that is a background changes that we have done, but that will help in case of your, you have a lot of values inside your pick list fields. So that will now be more accurate. So Jira also offers the addition of events whenever there is any project that gets updated or deleted. So we handled that inside Salesforce via Sinergify. If any project is deleted, the mapping screen sometimes causes some conflicts. But now we have automatically removed the deleted projects from the mapping screen and added again to the section that I mentioned earlier. Uh, in case your admins wants to review, they can still open the screen and it will not cause any conflicts. Minor changes, but again, impacts a lot when you're configuring and managing the integration on a frequent basis. So moving on to next, CPU time limit exceptions are there. One of the scenarios we covered and handled in this was for enterprise organizations where the objects are a lot on Salesforce side, and then sometimes the rendering of this field mapping would cause issues. So now for enterprise organizations, if in case the data is too much on the Salesforce side in terms of objects, now this will load pretty straightforward. There will not be any delays or errors on the field mapping screen because of CPU limits. We also added multilingual support for a few of the major languages apart from English. It's Chinese, Russian, Japanese. Uh, we have done that for initial level. Our broader scope in upcoming releases is to target more languages. If in case you have users across globe where you would want to leverage the text conversion automatically, just let us know and we will be more than happy to implement that in our future releases. Emails to Jira as a Jira comment is a feature we also added in the past, but there is one enhancement we did recently. That is, we are now displaying the you know first 30 characters of the email body, because from the subject, it was not like pretty clear what is the email about. So we are now also showing like just a preview of what's in that email thread. So again, for few of customers, it was a major win-win. It saves a lot of time rather than going to all those emails and see what that is about, right? So that was all about the enhancements and the admin configurations that we improved. Last part is the enhancements on the corner scenarios that we did. Jira, as we are aware, has a lot of flexibility in terms of field lengths. Salesforce is a bit hard to handle that. So there were some scenarios where the field length is larger in Jira, for example, URLs, etc. We handle that on the Salesforce side. Now you will be able to map. There will not be any syncing issues in some corner scenarios where the field length would be longer than what Salesforce offers or handles. Uh, Package triggers. There were some post deployment steps where you have to add few triggers to the custom settings to ensure some feature works correctly. But now this is a step that we have automated to reduce any post install or post update steps. This will help a lot for the Salesforce admins who frequently updates the Sinergify package to the latest version. And there were some corner scenarios where the global search feature was not loading in exception and throwing some exceptions and not loading. So we fixed that. Now the global search works pretty fine. Again, this is a feature if in case you have the intent to only search for Jira issues without linking into any case or opportunity, any parent object, if in case you just want to scroll and see what's happening on Jira for that specific object, how many bugs are there and what are the latest bugs in that specific project. It's a cool feature. So now we have squashed any remaining bugs on this one, and we have refined few error messages on few screens. And apart from that, in scenarios where you have strict one-to-one relationship, uh, they were failing in corner scenarios when you link or when you send the use the send to Jira or link to Jira via feed post. So that is also working fine now. And one scenario where if you auto create the or resync the errors via the troubleshooting tab, we have a configuration over here, wherein if in case you have automations and due to some exceptions, if they do not work, you can resync those logs. So in scenarios where it was creating duplicate records on the Jira side, that has also been resolved in this release. And yeah, that's it. So again, this is all about our upcoming, existing release that is already live. And if you are on the release where we fixed the search API deprecation part, we have had few other releases where we handled the attachment syncing because Jira made few changes on their side on their platform. So we handle that. So you don't have to worry about it. This release will cover all of the previous releases, and you can simply go ahead and update that. The links are there. If in case you need any support, you can simply drop us an email. And now I will be moving to the roadmap that we have for Synergify in 2026, starting with the most demanded one, that is the rich text, right? So rich text enhancement is coming in early April. What it covers is three things. Salesforce is providing that option to use case comments. Once you configure the rich text case comments, there will be a new field created in the background. So we support that as well. Any rich text case comments will be now captured inside Salesforce from Jira. And you can also send the same from Salesforce to Jira as well, just to give you an idea. It's just like that, right? So if you're using the rich text case comments, you can simply update to this version and start going with it. And second thing we have covered is the rich text fields. Let's say you have uh, rich text field on the Jira side, and now you have a rich text field on the case that you want to sync, right? So you can simply go down this mapping screen and you can map your Jira field and then the case field, and then you can start the syncing. This was not there previously, but now this is handled. Just to give you an idea how it looks like. So yeah, again, the comments are also synced on the Jira issue record that we have inside Salesforce as well, and the fields will look like this. So that's how it looks like on Jira. So again, that's a win-win situation. The third thing that we have added is the ability to tag users directly from the Jira issue comment screen, the Jira users. So if I go ahead and tag certain users, I will be able to add the message and tag the users as well. So that is a flexibility where if in case you want to notify any specific engineer or product manager, you can directly do that from this screen. It will showcase their username and the email ID as well. This helps in case there are multiple users with the same name. So we have also added the uh, email ID as well. So this is the major scope for our upcoming release that will be due in early April. Apart from that, uh, Jira, just I believe you are aware, if in case you're using data center, Jira is deprecating the Jira data center and completely focusing on the cloud instances. For the cloud instances, Jira has two different architectures. The previous one that our application is built on is the Jira Connect. Now, Jira Forge is something they are recommending. So we are migrating our framework to that, uh, architecture. There's nothing you have to do additionally. That will be a simple application update available on the cloud instance. And for our data center customers, there are not going to be any issues till the time Jira offers that support. We will be able to publish any backend changes or any updates directly to your, as a package. So, but again, if in case you need any assistance or if you plan to migrate from data center to cloud, we are more than happy to assist. Or if in case you want to keep two instances connected with your Salesforce, that option will be there on the front end side on the Salesforce side. And the second good thing that we are doing in that release is we are also giving you an option on the Jira side where you can connect your Jira production to different Salesforce boxes, production and sandbox. This is due to the reason we have had few customers who do not necessarily procure Jira Sandbox due to certain reasons. And if in case they want to test out any deployments or any features or any project mappings, they have to like delink the sandbox and then link the production Salesforce. Now you don't have to do that with this release. You can connect two instances of Salesforce and test it out before you deploy any changes to production. And this is also possible if in case you acquire any new Salesforce org and if you plan to keep those orgs due to some European policies, or if you acquired a new company and you plan to keep two instances for a while, our solution supports that as well. And in late April as well, we will be working on the troubleshooting part. Troubleshooting again, it's a feature where you can see the error logs from our you know from our custom object. If in case anything did not run successfully, any automations, you can see that over here on this screen on the reports, and then you can resync those actions, those specific actions. So what we are working on is making it more dynamic and readable so that admins can take necessary actions on their own. And if we talk about quarter 3, we are working on the Jira service management. There is a just like issue type, there is a different feature of Jira that is request types. The architecture of that is a bit complex to handle, but our team is working on it to make it available on Salesforce side. So that is also due in July 2026. Tentative, it's a tentative date, but we will uh, be more focused on this release in this quarter. So that is there. And then in quarter 4, we are running a project parallelly where we will be revamping this whole section, how the authentication happens, the project mapping, and the field configurations. We want to reduce times, when the admins configure all of this, or if in case any new changes needs to be, handled within the integration. We are working on that, on the making the steps, a little lesser for the admins, and also to automate the mapping. The same thing we are doing on that part is we are gonna allow import and export of mappings. So if in case you are deploying or refreshing your sandbox or deploying something from sandbox to production, you can have a base set of mappings you can use as a reference, and that will help you deploy changes in a very minimal time frame. Again, we all talk about AI, so the last thing our team is working on this year, Jira also introduced the MCP, and Salesforce MCP is also in pilot beta phase. So our team is working on building a solution to leverage, MCP connectivity that will unlock new doors, and hopefully we will be covering that in our next webinar. So that's it for this webinar, and we will be sharing this deck and the recording. The release notes and the documentation are live. on our app exchange, right? And if we talk about the roadmap, our focus is always on a product that is customer centric. It's reliable. You don't have to worry about the syncs and the mapping. And then we talk about efficiency, how efficient a product can be in terms of adaptability, in terms of syncing, in terms of admins configuring the solution, all those workflows. And last but not the least, end users should be able to leverage what we have worked on, what your admins are working on, to provide a more smoother operations overall across teams. And one thing I would like to add is most of the customers are using it for the support cloud or the service cloud. Uh, there has been so many instances where people are now leveraging the integrations towards opportunities where they would want to track ideas or feature requests towards Jira or DevOps teams or even marketing side as well. So if in case you need any assistance or if you need any KPIs or how this can be helpful for your teams, you can simply let us know by dropping us an email, and that's it. Now with this we are open for any Q&As. I believe our team has answered all the questions so far. But if in case you still have any open questions, please feel free to let us know.
Thank you, Amarveer, for the detailed walkthrough.
Sure.
Before we close, I want to thank all of you for joining today. These enhancements reflect how Sinergify is used in real, day-to-day environments. We'll share the recording, release notes, documentation, and relevant assets with you shortly. You can upgrade to the new version and enable these features today. To benefit from the improved reliability, better control, and a smoother experience, I would like to help validating your setup and understanding the changes. You can even book one-to-one walkthrough with our team. Thank you once again for your time and for being part of Sinergify community.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening. Bye bye.